we're still digesting Nvidia's earnings report, and who better to round things up than to bring back Yahoo Finance tech editor Dan Howley, listening on the call for us. What were the highlights for you? What really stood out for you?
Yeah, I think some of the kind of ways that Jensen Huang and Colette Kress attempted to address some of Wall Street's concerns, investors' concerns, around a litany of topics, whether that was China saying that, look, China revenue is below where it was prior to the export controls. It's going to stay there more or less at the levels that they're seeing, whether that was ASICs, those chips that are specific for certain tasks. Jensen Huang basically saying, look, they're not going to be as good as what we have to offer. Those are application specific, and our chips are general. They address everything. There's also the idea of perhaps running out of runway when it comes to the cloud service providers. But to that, Jensen had said, look, there's still commercial space. We have a clip for that.
We've really only tapped consumer AI and search and some amount of consumer generative AI, advertising, recommenders, kind of the early days of software. The next wave's coming. Agentic AI for enterprise, physical AI for robotics, and sovereign AI as different regions build out their AI for their own ecosystems.
So just kind of, Jensen's way of going over the different ways that NVIDIA is able to kind of spread out beyond just the cloud service providers that, again, provide the 50% of data center revenue for them right now. He's saying that there's other opportunities available that are going to spring up over time. And, we talked about Blackwell Ultra earlier, but they also touched on Vera Rubin, which is going to be the next chip that they announce, and hopefully we'll hear more about that at GTC next month.
Dan, you think Jensen Huang and Colette Kress, did they do enough, do you think, on this call to address any DeepSeek jitters that are out there?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they touched on that, basically from the jump. Even before they got on the call, they did it in the actual earnings release, saying, the kind of longer amount of time a model needs to think, the more processing power it needs. And so that's a reason why cloud service providers or other companies would want to invest in NVIDIA's heavy-duty chips, the Blackwells. And so not necessarily those H20s that DeepSeek had managed to use to develop that R1 model, but these larger kind of heavy-duty ones that Meta's buying up, Tesla's buying up, Microsoft's buying up, and how those will enhance models like DeepSeek's R1 or V3. So I think they really did manage to hit on that pretty much throughout from the time that they actually released the numbers to the end of the call. It seemed as though they really wanted to touch on those a good deal.
Dan, thanks so much. Not sure how much they convinced the shareholders. The stock is still kind of bouncing around the flat line here. Dan Howley, thank you so much. Appreciate it.